Welcome back to another powerful episode of Mindful Living. I'm your host Avik, and today we are diving into a concept that might just flip the way that you think about personal growth, leadership, and even the daily decision making, which is curiosity. Yep. So please welcome our guest, dear listeners, Yosi Kossowsky. Welcome to the show, Yosi.
Thank you, Avik. I'm really happy to be here. Thank you.
Amazing. Dear listeners, before we delve deeper into the discussion, I'd love to introduce you with Yosi. So, Yosi is a seasoned executive coach and the former CTO and senior director of talent management with nearly 2 decades of coaching experience and over 30 years in executive leadership. So, he has helped leaders across the globe navigate the complex challenges, build high performing teams, and foster cultures of trust and collaboration. But here's the twist. Today we are less focused on the job titles or org charts and more on the superpower of curiosity. So, like how activating it can change not just your work, but your life. So, I'll not take much of your time to listeners. Yosi, welcome to the show and really excited to have you here today.
Thank you. Very excited to be here with you and talking about this topic.
Amazing. So, Yosi, curiosity is often talked about a kind of soft skill, but you argue that it's a kind of transformational. So, from your perspective, what does it mean to kind of activate curiosity in a way that truly changes behavior and the mindset? What do you say?
Fantastic question. Thank you. So I'd like to start off, Avik, by asking you a question, if that's okay.
Sure.
Do you know how to read people's minds?
It's very difficult. Exactly. I mean, in one word, I say no.
Okay. And I have another question, if that's okay, and that's to know, are you a prophet or a fortune teller?
No.
No. Okay. So here's, the interesting thing. I haven't yet met a person who actually can read people's minds. And I haven't yet met somebody who can foretell the future.
Mm.
And yet, when you interact with other people,
Yeah.
and you see their behaviors, do you ever make up ideas, or I shouldn't say make up, but have ideas or thoughts in your mind about why they do what they do?
Yeah, I mean, it's very difficult to make up like why they are doing that thing, but maybe if we have some background, we know about the background, then maybe we can estimate, but it's not, again, 100% correct.
So imagine that you are in a store
Yeah.
and you see somebody running through the store and bumping into either people or stuff in the aisles and knocking some stuff over or something of that. Have you ever had some sort of experience where you've just observed somebody you don't know doing something that you thought was odd? Or
Not exactly, but yes, I have seen in the videos and in the news as well. So from there, I can say yes.
okay. And when you're watching those things, do you ever think to yourself, I can't believe that person did that?
Yes, yeah. I mean, it happened. Yes.
Right?
Mm.
So when you have had that thought, if you can just recall any event where you had that thought.
So, I mean, not physical term, but yes, if I have to say, like, I had one of my friend. So basically, So what happens is like when you're connected with someone, you would never expect something different to happen. You always in a place where you know, like, okay, fine, I know this person, and this person will not do something or not harm you, kind of thing. But uh, when I found this, that indirectly things are happening against me, and that is from my friend only. So then I realized why he is doing so. What is the reason behind it? So that is what I can say. Like, yeah.
Right. Okay. So have you ever planned for the next day?
Planned in the sense when I mean,
Make a plan to do something or
yeah,
about an interaction you're going to have and think about how that might go, that interaction might go.
yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Have you ever had the experience when you get to that actual interaction or event that it doesn't go the way you thought it would go?
Yeah, a lot of times.
And when that happens, do you recall how you might have felt?
Yes.
How did you feel?
I mean, it depends. Like, if it is going in a different direction, which I never estimated, then I feel like, okay, why it should, I mean, it mustn't have gone in that direction, but fine, I'll take care of it, and I'll take it in the different direction, and I'll manage it, kind of things. Yes.
So these types of things, in my experience, are happening all the time with everybody. We observe a behavior and we're like, what is that person doing? We're thinking thoughts about that person. We're making questions, or we're even making assumptions. So one of the questions I ask people often is, if they happen to drive a car,
Okay.
and I ask, have you ever been cut off by somebody on the road?
Oh, okay.
Okay. So I don't know, Avik, do you drive?
Yes, and not every time, but yeah, I do.
And have you ever been cut off by another driver?
I mean, overtake, you're saying, or what?
More than overtake, meaning where they kind of like pulled up in front of you very quickly and
Yeah.
unexpectedly.
Yes.
And do in any of those times, do you recall how you might have reacted internally?
Yes, I mean, obviously, it's like, I mean, it's not the way you drive. It's you should follow the rules and all. I mean, I mean, when you're overtaking me as well, I mean, think about, like, there'll be people who will be driving in that car, and they might get affected. So I mean, this kind of things in my mind. Yeah.
Right? So have you, as a driver, ever, even accidentally, driven suddenly in front of somebody else?
I can't recall, but maybe. I mean, I cannot recall right now as of.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So if you imagine that you might have done something like that, how do you think you would have felt about yourself doing it?
Me doing that, right?
Yeah, you doing it.
Yeah, and for me, it's like, okay, it's fine then. I mean, I mean, I'm saying, in the perspective what others do, like,
Right.
what others do. It's like for them, it's very normal and simple. It doesn't matter what the other person will feel. Uh, for me, which will definitely affect. But I'm saying from their perspective, yes, in that sense, if from their perspective you have to say, uh, I would have also done it kind of same only. Okay, fine, I have to go hurry, and I'll just do it. It doesn't matter what is who is getting affected for all that.
Right. Okay. So what tends to happen is I find that in all of the different scenarios I asked you, that it is very common for a person to have a story that shows up in their head about what the other person did, what the other person's motivations or reasoning was. And a lot of times we don't really judge them kindly. And in the case of thinking about an event that's going to happen or an interaction that's going to happen, and we, draw pictures in our head about it, and then we experience it, and we find that the experience doesn't match the pictures we have in our head, sometimes people can really feel frustrated.
Yeah.
That things didn't happen the way that they thought they would or had planned that they would. So then it is also common in my experience of talking to people that when these types of events happen, we don't just let them go the next second. They kind of stay with us, and they come back into our minds, and sometimes the frustration continues and comes back into our mind, and etc.
Yeah.
And it can make us more irritable. It can make us quicker to respond or to snap at somebody.
Right.
And so curiosity is an active retraining of our thoughts to recognize that I am not a mind reader and I am not able to tell the future. So that when I am assigning reasoning or motivations to other people's behaviors, even if it is people that I know, and therefore even feel like I have more data points to make up these reasons, the reality is that we're the one who are making up the stories in our head about other people, about the situations, and the feelings that we have about that person, about that event, about those things are not at the fault of anybody else but ourselves, because we made them up.
Very interesting. Yeah.
So imagine now, thinking back to any of the scenarios that I asked you about.
Mm.
Let's say the one where, you thought your friend would behave in a certain way and they didn't.
Yeah.
If you could replay that event in your head with the imagination that instead of thinking how your friend might do or not do or act or behave or whatever, you went in with, I know that my mind wants to make up a story, but because I know that I am not able to tell the future, I'm going to go in with really as much unknowing or curiosity as possible.
Uh-huh.
So if you could just in your mind play that back, what might have been your reaction had you been more focused on not knowing what would be than knowing what might be? What might have changed for you?
So first thing, just to clarify, first thing I just wanted to understand, like when, because that thing, what happened, that is something which is sudden. Which I was not expecting. Now, because if I'm not expecting and I have all the good things in my mind, then I'll be kind of who is always kind of thinking about the positive things. I'll not go ahead with the negative thinking and all. So curiosity will only come when I'm having some different thought process, or maybe some confusion, or maybe some I'd say any matter that held me to rethink about that scenario. So then the curiosity will come. But in this case, let's say, like you asked, so if any scenarios that happened prior to this one, then only I might have thought about, okay, I mean, I know like sometime back he did this thing to me. Maybe there is again something is cooking in his mind, and that is the reason he do it. So let me understand what is the problem and where it exactly is coming from. So that is what I feel. I mean, what do you think?
So this is the test, in a sense, our internal test, which is, if I really can accept that I cannot read anybody else's mind,
Yeah.
then how much do I actually know at all about anybody else's reasoning to what they do? How much of what I think about others and feel about others is just based upon the reasons I make up in my mind about why they do what they do?
Got it.
So, for example, do you have children at home, or a partner, or wife?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Have you ever found that your wife did something and you reacted in frustration? Why did you do that?
Yeah.
Yeah. And then you hear her, then she tells you, and you're like, oh, okay. That makes sense now.
Mhm.
Yeah. That whole initial reaction,
Yeah.
I wonder how it would be different if every time your wife does something, you're like, huh, I wonder why she's doing that, rather than jump to a conclusion first. Why did she do that? Right?
Right.
Rather than why did you do that, or what are you doing? It would be curiosity. I'm curious. What I see something, but I'm curious. I don't know why.
Yeah. So
What might change in how you emotionally interact with her?
exactly. I mean, the same thing I mentioned, which is like, if it's happening, like as you mentioned about the wife, right? So if it is happening between the two, and I feel that this is something which happened for once, right? And then after some time, it again getting continued. So definitely that curiosity thing will come, that yes, why she's doing it repeatedly. I mean, then there is some motive there. And if it is just a one time, or it's just a mistake and it's a kind of exceptions and all, that's okay, because when we trust someone, then uh, I don't think when there is a trust, the curiosity is very difficult to arrive. But when trust get kind of breaks down, I believe that is the time when curiosity comes, and then a lot of questions and the mind and a lot of other things comes in. So yeah, but this is what I feel.
Why is it different for you? Why does it change based on how well you might know the person?
Because it's our I believe it's our kind of psychology, and it's our mental acceptance, which I feel that um when I know someone, okay, because when I know someone and who is my own, or very close to me, uh first thing is like, we first develop our trust in any kind of relationship, be it for parents, be it kind of relationships, any kind of relationship. First thing comes is the trust. Once we have the trust, then mind gets settled that yes, I can trust that person, or I can rely on that person. Now, until and unless there is some breakdown or there is some gap between that trust part, things goes well. And when there is a kind of question mark comes in, then only it's our mind like which tell us like there is something, and because of which the trust which you had, it's not working right now, and then comes this issue. Yeah.
Right. But now, even the idea of what builds trust, how much of that is stuff that you make up in your mind about the other person that you build your trust upon, versus what we know for fact, what we have been told, explained, we confirmed, versus how much in any of our relationships we make up things, stories about the other person, and that plays a role in how much we either do or do not trust them.
It's all about the backstory we have stored in our mind, or I'd say the subconscious mind. Like,
right?
Yeah.
Perfect. That backstory. What would happen if you gave up on your backstories?
Mm-hmm.
What would happen to your relationships if you did not rely on your backstories?
I won't trust anyone then.
You wouldn't trust anybody.
Correct.
Okay. And would you be able to still be curious?
Not exactly. I mean, curious, yes, in the sense when something is happening against me, which is not good for me. Obviously, then the curiosity will come. But if things are normal, then, I mean, because I do not have any backstory and other things to check back that what's my mind has or what relationship I have, until and unless I have anything or any experience, I won't be thinking much about the scenario. Like, okay, I mean, for me, then if any bad thing is happening, I'll tackle that bad thing as a normal person. That when, I mean, it's a kind of normal thing. Like when bad thing happens, I'll just tackle that bad thing. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's an interesting thing. The idea about curiosity is for us to be aware of how much of our backstories, our forward stories, our present stories are factual, meaning that we know why, or that we are making up parts of the reasoning in our head.
Exactly.
And when we're making up the reasons in our head, are we being generous and kind about those reasons, or are we being judgmental about those reasons?
True.
And what could happen if we could practice more curiosity in our interactions? Would there be more openness in us? Would there be less frustration, less judgment, less reaction? What would be different?
Exactly. So, what I feel is like like curiosity is totally kind of personality trait, and I was mentioning about the mental and the subconscious part. Uh, I feel it's like it's a kind of reward system by the brain. like which releases that to explore something new and to understand better. So, like you mentioned about the fear and the judgment, right? So, kind of when you approach to that situation with curiosity, then you replace it like, okay, I'm right. I wonder, kind of thing. So, yeah, I mean, until and unless you face the situation and you do not have and you will face the situation only when you do not have any backstory. Because if you have a backstory, then you will not recall that part. You will be kind of, okay, it's fine.
Right.
Yeah.
So this is why I feel that this skill can be transformational. If we can get to a space where we can revisit our past interactions and address our present reactions and learn to adapt in our planning for the future, to recognize what do we actually really know versus what do we think we know, and what would happen if we let go of all of the things that we just think we know.
Exactly.
What would happen? What would change in our lives? What would change in our relationships? What would change in how we interact and react if we could do that?
Exactly. It's a good question to think about, and for the listeners also, I'd love to say that eh, you let us know, like, what do you think? I mean, the discussion which are going on right now, what you think will happen when you have all this, and when you do not have a backstory, when you have a backstory. So, what your perspective? Would love to definitely know from you. Yep.
So thank you, Avik.
Yeah.
That it would be actually really exciting if the listeners start to respond
Yes.
and share with us
Exactly.
what they discover.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, it's a great way of learning the mind and also knowing the different perspectives, because uh, maybe what I mentioned right now is bit something different for someone else, or maybe 100% totally opposite of it. But it's great to know what everyone thinks about it, and uh, yeah, I mean, it's a great one to discuss, understand, and also it's a kind of skill only, like you mentioned. It's a kind of skills which we can develop. Yep, exactly.
Fantastic.
Yep. So, any advice you would like to give to the listeners today? Uh,
So the advice really is, if you're willing to take a chance and experiment,
Hmm.
to explore one interaction that you've had in the past,
Yeah.
and ask yourself, if I rethink about that event and I drop all of my assumptions about what happened, why the person did what they did, what they meant, what would change in that? How would it change for you, that interaction? How would you feel differently? How might have you responded differently? And then the second experiment is, approach any upcoming interaction that you're going to have. Choose one and let go of the backstory. Let go of, again, the assumptions, and see what might change in that interaction for you and what you learn about yourself and others by doing that.
Exactly. Amazing, amazing. So, Yosi, thank you so much for this illuminating conversation. And listeners, here are the three things to do after this episode. I would say, like, uh, pick one curiosity experiment, like we're doing, right? So, like Yosi also mentioned, ask a question that you wouldn't normally ask, or kind of observe without the judgment, and journal that insights for 7 days. And Also identify one area of your life or maybe work where you have stopped asking like why or what if kind of things, and intentionally reframe it with curiosity this week, right? And at the same time, if you want more guidance, connect with Yosi. I'll put all the links and the details in the show notes for easy reference, and explore the practical coaching exercises that can boost both the leadership and the personal growth. So, dear listeners, if you have enjoyed today's episode, subscribe, leave a review, and share it with someone who's curious about changing their life. And also, Yosi, if what would be the great medium to connect if someone wants to connect with you?
The current best way, Avik, is through LinkedIn. I haven't yet finished my website, so LinkedIn is really the place.
Okay.
And there's even a button on my profile to book time. So anybody can book some free time to have a conversation and explore if there's something that I can do to help them.
Amazing. Lovely. So, dear listeners, as I mentioned, I'll put all the links in the show notes. And with this hope, until next time, I'm your host, Avik, and stay curious and let it transform the way that you lead and live. So, thank you so much.